Welcome to this explainer. You probably have a Mastercard sitting in your wallet right now. But today, we're looking way past the plastic. We're diving straight into the massive data behind that iconic logo to uncover the hidden reality of its truly incredible growth engine.
So, Mastercard just reported nearly $9.3 billion in quarterly revenue. I mean, that is just enormous. But the true story, the one that really demands our attention here, is this massive 22% jump in earnings per share. In a mature, globally recognized business of this size, a 22% surge doesn't just happen by accident. It points to a really deep structural advantage.
Okay, let's dive into this. To understand what's actually driving all this growth, we really have to look past the physical card. Because that piece of plastic, it's kind of just an illusion. It's what we see as consumers. But the reality is the massive financial technology machine underneath. The true business lives entirely within this invisible global payment infrastructure.
Section 1. The trillion-dollar network. Scale and volume.
Right off the bat, there's a vital distinction we need to make here. That $9.28 billion, that's the actual revenue Mastercard gets to keep. But look at the other side. That staggering $2.88 trillion represents the total economic activity flowing across its network. They aren't making $2.88 trillion, rather, they're acting as this massive conduit connecting trillions in global spending.
And to hit that trillion-dollar volume, the network seamlessly processed 47.4 billion switch transactions this quarter. That's a 9% increase year over year. Just think about what that actually means for a second. A coffee purchase, a hotel room, a streaming subscription, millions of completely different everyday transactions instantly converted into data and moving at the speed of light through the exact same global infrastructure.
Which brings us to the core of what Mastercard actually is, a payment infrastructure. Think of it like a giant global digital toll road. Mastercard doesn't sell you the coffee, they don't manufacture physical goods, and they definitely don't build thousands of retail stores. They just provide the infrastructure that makes your purchase possible. And what that means is any new payment volume scales beautifully over a platform they've already built.
Section 2. The earnings power. The mystery multiplier.
Now, because of that toll road model we just talked about, all that network volume directly translates into compounding profitability. Look at this progression. Top-line revenue is up 14%, which is highly impressive on its own. But then net income grew 19%, and diluted EPS jumped 22%. Mastercard's earnings power is expanding substantially faster than its revenue. Why? Because they don't have to literally build a new factory every time someone swipes a card. Almost all that new revenue just drops straight to the bottom line.
Section 3. Beyond the basic transaction. Fueling the future.
So, the core swiping business is obviously going strong. But these high-value secondary areas, they are absolutely surging. First up, international cross-border volume is up a fantastic 12%. Those are the highly lucrative transactions that happen when you travel or buy from overseas. But honestly, arguably even more impressive, their value-added services just exploded by 20%. They are actively making serious money on things far beyond the payment itself. And here's why. As digital transactions increase globally, well, so do fraud, cyber threats, and overall business complexity. Because Mastercard already sits right in the middle of global commerce, they are perfectly positioned to sell the cure. We're talking a massive suite of essential tools: AI-driven fraud detection, data analytics, risk management, the whole shebang. That 20% growth shows they aren't just processing payments anymore. They are embedding themselves completely into the survival of their partners.
Section 4. The risks and the catch. Navigating the threats.
Now, we've built a pretty soaring bull case based on these numbers, but the world of payments is changing incredibly fast, and dominance is never guaranteed. They face intense scrutiny from global regulators who monitor these massive networks. There's also the shifting consumer behavior toward digital wallets, where users might literally forget they're even using a traditional card. And above all, there's the constant, looming threat of new fintech startups actively trying to build alternative payment systems to bypass these traditional networks entirely.
And this brings us to the catch. There is a really important distinction between Mastercard, the company, and MA, the stock. An amazing company can actually still be a disappointing investment if the stock price already assumes flawless future execution. Mastercard doesn't just need to remain a great business, it needs to remain a great business relative to the premium price investors are paying for it right now.
All right, let's bring this all together with a rapid-fire recap. You have the financial translation. $9.28 billion in revenue, driving a massive 22% EPS growth.
And fueling that is sheer, mind-boggling scale. We're talking $2.88 trillion in volume across 47 billion transactions, supplemented by a 20% surge in value-added services. It paints a picture of a company masterfully extracting economic value from literally every single corner of the payment ecosystem.
The global payments revolution is nowhere near finished. Commerce continues to cross borders, and transactions just keep digitizing. But looking at these spectacular numbers, the ultimate question you must walk away with today is this: how much of that flawless future growth is already priced in? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope it brought you a much deeper understanding of the invisible engine powering the global economy.